Good morning, welcome to the DanGoesOutdoors YouTube channel. If you're new around here, have a think about subscribing. So I am on my favourite big pit and it looks great for a bite. We've finally got what all the carp anglers have been wanting. A bit of low pressure, some drizzle in the air, colder temperatures. After all that hot weather, this is perfect, and hopefully I've timed my session when the low pressure is at its peak. Well, not peak, trough. I don't know, whatever, you know what I mean. But yeah, fingers crossed this is what we need to get the carp moving about. I did want to be further down a lake in the swim I did a day session in a few days ago, and the video for that should be up already. And it was a really good day. I caught some nice tench, found some good spots, and I figured if I could get back in there during this period of weather, I'd catch. But there's already another angler in there, so I've come a little bit further up the lake to where there are no anglers at all. I've sort of, in my head, split this lake into thirds, and I've got a whole third to myself here, kind of separated by two islands, which is brilliant. Found some spots, going to put some rods on them, explain to you what I'm doing as I go, and yeah, I'm feeling good about this one. So first rod going in, I found a nice clear area about 50 yards out, and I think I'm going to commit 2 rods to that area because when it's out in open water like that, I quite like the idea that no matter which way a fish comes into the swim, there's a hook bait there waiting for them. Second rod for my open water spot. Good drop on that one. As for bait over top, I'm going to start off lightly, maybe just 6 spots. They haven't been pounding bait recently, so I can't see them starting now. So yeah, start off lightly, can always put more in later. My third rod is going slight to my left at shorter range, about 40 yards over the back of a weed bed. Again, very light scattering of bait over that rod, and looking down the bank, the chap who is in the swim I wanted to fish is into one. I'm not sure if it's a carp or a tench, but yeah, I'm going to take that as a good sign. Okay, 3 rods out, looking lovely, and now I'm just going to sit back, watch the water, tidy all this away, and yeah, hopefully we'll catch something. First time I've seen an otter on this lake. I never get on here. I've never actually seen him here. He was right there, right under my rod tip. Whoa. Well, that's a new one for me, getting a line bite from an otter. I was just sort of heard a commotion. I popped my head up just in time to see the otter come up under my left hand rod, actually set the alarm off. I was looking for it for ages, couldn't see it. And it's now further down the lake. I've seen it come up near the island a couple of times. So frustrating, it's prime bite time. And there was an otter in my swim. Man, the angler further down the bank's out of his bivvy now looking around, so perhaps he spotted it as well. Jeez, they're annoying. Let's not get into it. We're heading into the evening now, and unfortunately nothing's happened during the day since that otter. That was the last bit of drama. A few little slicks coming up off my spots, but yeah, not a lot going on. There's an old boy opposite who has caught a lot of tench and a couple of eels, just sort of pleasure fishing close in, which is great to see. But now every spot opposite me has got an angler in it, so I'm just hoping that not too many more people arrive and come around here as well, because otherwise it'll be completely stitched up, and I'm actually in quite a good position here with everyone on that side, maybe push a few fish my way. So what I'm going to do is get all the rods sorted early, get it done straight after my tea. I'm on noodles tonight, although I'm normally a pasta guy. Yeah, do that straight after my tea so everything's nice and quiet, and just leave it until something happens and just hope that with the extra pressure over that side pushes fish towards me. Dog and me got absolutely done over there. Left hand rod screamed off while I was just about to eat my noodles. And then, yeah, just big ball of weed. I'm gonna tell myself it was a tench, not a carp, by the way the bite was. Well, even though it's chucking it down, gonna stick to the game plan, redo these rods nice and early. Hinge stiff rigs all round, don't pop up on this one. A couple of bright ones out in open water. Yeah, let's just get out there and get it done. So that's all 3 rods redone. It's not even 6:30, I don't think, so they can be out there for 12 hours if need be, no problem at all. Spotting went really well. I was really happy with myself. I could have been at linear. It was just one after another straight down the middle over the hook baits. So I'm gonna settle in now. Tonight's beer, as you're all interested, is a Brewdog Clockwork Tangerine, sort of like a citrus IPA type thing. 4.5 horses in the stable, so not too bad, and at least this one hasn't leaked all over my bag. So yeah, we're having this, listen to Annie Mac, usual stuff, keep my fingers crossed for a big carp. Well, good morning, and yeah, nothing happened last night. Really frustrating. I thought it would. It was spot on for a bite. It was chucking it down all night, and there's a little bit of wind, so real proper low pressure carpy type conditions. But nah, nothing. And I set my alarm for 4, got up, poked my head out for about 15-20 minutes, didn't see a thing, so just decided to go back to bed. And I am getting some little slicks coming off my baited spots. The morning is a really good period on here, I always say that, so I'm gonna fish that out and just hope something happens. I've also got half an eye on the angler down the bank there in the spot that I wanted to be in, because if he moves in the next hour, I'll go down there. But any longer than that, and there's not really much point, I might as well stick it out here. So I've decided not to recast, just let it all stay nice and quiet out there. If I've only got a few more hours, I don't want to push the fish away and wait for them to come back. And yeah, let's just really hope we catch. Good morning. It's about a week later, and I'm back for another overnight session, and possibly my last one for a long time. More on that later. But I didn't finish that last video properly. I fished the day out through bite time and nothing happened. I knew nothing was going to happen, and I felt a bit down about it. I didn't really end the video properly, and I knew I had this session to go, so I figured we'll put 2 into 1 and make a better video out of it for you guys. So finally, I'm in the swim I want to be in. It's where I did a day session a couple of weeks ago, did quite well, caught some nice tench. And when I was here last week, I'm pretty sure I saw a carp get caught out of here. And when I came for a little look this morning, I saw a carp launch itself clean out of the water in front of here. It was only a stocky, but it was actually like a foot in the air when it came out. And where there's small fish, often there's big fish. And it's possibly the best sign I've had to go off for weeks now. So yeah, really hopeful this might happen today. what I'm going to do is just going to get a rod out, similar spots to where I fished when I was last in this swim, and then I can be happy and set my camp up. But yeah, get a rod out first, just make sure we're fishing. Just gone 7:30, and that's all 3 rods out on the same spots I fished when I did the day session here. And now it's not windy, I can kind of see what I was doing. So there's like a weed bed going across the middle there. So I've got one beyond it, one this side of it, then my left hand rod up that island margin. So that's really good, some nice areas there. And I'm really confident, I'm happy that I'm on fish for once. So yeah, all we can do now is sit back, let it happen. Just a small amount of bait around each one. They're clearly not bait guzzling at the moment. No one's smashing them up. So yeah, just 4 over each, keep it nice and light, almost like spring fishing. And yeah, let's just see what happens. I really, really want a carp. Just lost one on my left hand rod. Damn, pretty sure it's a tench, but still annoying. And that bite came just while I was redoing my middle rod. I'm worried I'm gonna have to wind it in because where I'm putting it over the back of a weed bed, it's gathering so much weed, it's getting dragged out of position very quickly. So I put it back out and I'm gonna give it another go. I've put a heavier lead on so that if it is getting weed built up on the line, it's gonna stay in position a little bit longer before it gets moved. But if I'm only getting an hour or 2 out of it, I'm gonna have to bring that one in. I can't keep recasting it and scaring fish away. So we'll play it by ear. It's back out there now. Let's see how long it lasts. But yeah, I might have to get the lead and rod out and find something this side of the weed bed instead. Okay, finally into a fish here on a right hand rod. What is this? Thinking tench. There's our prize, lovely dark male tench there. That came on my close in rod, sort of to the right, about 30 yards out, on a pink pepper squid pop-up. I'll have to replace that and get it back out there. Brilliant. I would have loved to have caught one of these last week when the alarms were silent for 36 hours. Kettle's on, gonna start getting my tea ready. It's noodles again tonight, and we weren't too bad last time. I'm more of a pasta guy, but yeah, noodles it is. And we haven't blanked, we've caught that tench, and we've had another sort of funny take that I think was a tench. And I'm seeing carp in the area, they're kind of boshing along that weed line, and I'm still confident it could happen. The only problem is the weed is making my presentation really hard to get right. There's weed coming down the lake, gathering on the line, moving my rigs, especially that middle rod. My left and right rod are actually okay, it's that middle rod, and that's the one that I think is in the best area. It's kind of out there between two weed beds, and perfect spot for where I'm seeing the fish. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried it's not getting presented right. I'm going to persevere with it though, because tonight when the wind drops, that rod should be spot on. And I'm going to have my noodles, got my beers, I know you're interested in this. Brewdog Punk tonight, which is kind of light session IPA, and then an oatmeal stout. Got some thickness in that one. And I've also downloaded Blues Brothers to watch. I've never watched Blues Brothers all the way through, so if I don't catch fish, at least I'm gonna have a nice evening in the bivvy. Right, eat my tea, redo my rods nice and early, little bit of bait, fresh hook baits, fresh hooks, and yeah, just hope it happens tonight. That was a hell of a run. Haven't felt it kick since that run. Praying it's still on. We've not just got loads of weed here. Think that was a kick then. What have we got? Oh, big tench. Big tench and a big load of weed. Oh my days. Jesus. I think I'm going to weigh that tench. Pretty big this tench, so it's getting a weigh in. £8 and 1 ounce. That's a massive tench. £8 tench. No wonder I thought it was a carp. The way it ran was crazy. That's massive. £8 one, which I think is a PB. I bet I've caught bigger tench, but I so very rarely weigh them. I just saw this one and thought, you know what, let's get a number on it. £8 one, so probably a PB. At least it's my official PB anyway. Amazing. Awesome, that's bigger than some of the carp in here. Right, I think a couple of pictures of this one and then get it back. Well, £8 1 ounce. That's a massive tench, especially when you consider we're in North Yorkshire. Oh, Jesus. I'm still buzzing off the catch of that tench. £8 tench, that's amazing. And it sort of sparked off me redoing my rod. So all redone, fresh hook baits, fresh hooks, a little bit of bait over them. And what I've done a little bit differently this time is the ones that are going over the weed. I've slackened the line off a little bit, just so it sort of drops down in between the rod tip and the weed bed. That way it doesn't get as much of this floating weed gathering on it. And then when I feel it's where it is, I can kind of tighten back up again. But yeah, really confident. Gonna have my beers now, watch Blues Brothers. Blues Brothers! And yeah, just fingers crossed for a carp, but I'm really happy with how today's gone. Good morning. Well, not a lot happened last night. It started raining about midnight, which is no bad thing really. Hopefully it will push the fish further down in the water and encourage them to eat a bit of bait. Did my usual, set my alarm for first light, which was about 4:30, and poked my head out for 10-15 minutes, check my rods. Just always like to double check that nothing's moved it in the night. It's not had any like ducks or whatever diving on it or gathered too much weed, but they're fine, so they're just going to get left out. And really all I can do is put the kettle on and just hope a carp shows up. And this is my 4th night, and it'll be my last one for a long time because I go back to work on Saturday. It's Wednesday today, and yeah, I really would have hoped to have caught a big carp by now, but there's still time. Well, I couldn't resist, and I've decided to make one recast this morning. I've told myself that if I'm going to do it, it's going to be my left-hand rod because that's the furthest one away from the other two. So if it is going to be a swim ruiner, at least it's only one. And I've chosen this one as well because it's got a dull bait on it, and I want to swap that for a bright one. Just because if a fish are being so picky and not really feeding that much, I want them to know that my hook bait's in the swim. I want them to be able to smell it, and I want them to be able to see it. So hopefully this will encourage a take. Probably from a tench, but you never know. Finally, the middle rod has produced a bit of a run here. Don't know if the fish is still on. Oh yeah, there's something there. Walk it back over that weed. Ah, tench. Yeah. I've left the tench chilling in the landing net because I need to get this rod out quickly while we're still in this morning period. Well, finally a fish off that middle long spot. Before I show you the tench, I thought we'd talk about hook baits, because it's not something I ever really talk about much on the channel. I'll show you the rigs and the free bait that I'm using, but I always just say, oh, I've got a bright one on, a dull one on, whatever. But over the years I've used loads of different pop-ups. I'm more of a pop-up type of guy. If I doubt the lake bed in any way, I put on a pop-up, not necessarily to get the hook bait up, but to get the hook and the rig up in the first few layers of the weed. I have no doubt that a carp can take a bait out of several inches, if not several feet of weed, but can they take a bait, a hook, a rig and get hooked effectively? Probably not. So I use a pop-up so everything's upright. And I've settled on basically just bringing 3 out with me. So what I do is I bring 1 dull match the hatch type bait and then a couple of bright ones. And there are so many different ones you can choose from, but a yellow fruity type one, yellow pineapples, they work really well. To me, I think it's maybe like a sweet corn thing. The fish are so used to seeing a yellow kind of sweet tasting bait that these just kind of go along with that. And then to contrast that, I'll bring something fishy, normally pink or red or whatever. And this year, the pink pepper squids have been working really well for me. And I don't know what that is, but I think it's something to do with when you feed a fish meal boilie, when they wash out after a while, they go kind of pinky already. So yeah, they kind of roughly match that. And when I'm on short sessions, I think bright baits do work better. You know, the fish are coming in and at least they know it's there. They can take it or leave it. If I use a dull one like this, it's often just chance as to whether or not the fish take it. But if I'm on a longer session, I'll often start with the duller ones. This is a fish meal cork ball I've rolled myself, and then switch to the bright baits if I feel I need a quicker bite or if I should be catching, because without doubt the brighter ones do attract the attention of tench, bream and smaller fish, whereas these tend to sit out there a little bit longer, perhaps until a carp comes along. So there you go, just my thoughts on baits. I tend to keep it very simple, just 3 tubs, and yeah, chop and change as I need to. So here's our 3rd tench of the session. Nice big male, probably £5 that one, if not more, judging by that £8 yesterday. and this one took a rig that had been sat on the spot for 15 hours. So don't be afraid to leave your rigs out there for a long time, especially if not a lot's happening. You know, you can often kill your chances, especially early in the morning, by recasting too much. Look at that guy. Of course, as always, I wish it was a carp. But yeah, great to get the alarms going as always. Brilliant. Right, let's get this guy back. Ready, big man? Let's read him. Nice. I don't know. Could still be a tench. What have we got? Please be a carp. Thinking it must be a tench though. Surely a carp would have run off properly by now. Yep, another tench. Damn. Well, at least it's a fish. Oh, come on. I think that could be another weigher there. Well, this one's such a fat female that I'm going to weigh it as well. Don't quite think it'll beat my 8 pounds. I'm just curious to see. £7.13. Almost another 8. And I've caught 2 tench for nearly £16. That's amazing. Well, if you're going to catch tench, you might as well catch big tench. 7.13. It's an 8.1 and a 7.13 I've had this session. That's madness, over £15 of tench between them. So big. Great. Real dark this one, amazing. Right, let's get it back. Drop back on this left-hander. Hate dropbacks, you never know if they're going to stay on or not. Whoa, angry guy. Well, the size of tench has definitely gone down. Maybe 3.5, 4 that one. Yeah. That's I think up to 7 tench now, and 3 on the same pineapple pop-up. I think this is probably going to be the last cast of the session. You're getting rain all over you. Well, it's about 12 now, and I was going to go home now, but having now received action on all 3 rods, yeah, they're tench, but at least there's fish in the area, and it's looking spot on for a bite. Let me pull you around. There we go, bit of drizzle, wind blowing in, and activity on all my spots. I'm going to give it another hour or 2, I think. Hopefully get that carp. I keep saying it, but man, I want it. Well, it's 1 o'clock now, and I'm going to call it a day there. And the fish have got the amount of time it takes me to pack all this away to put in an appearance, but yeah, a little bit gutted, haven't caught a carp, and it's almost been like a little mini campaign, this 4 nights and 2 days while I can before I'm back at work. And yeah, I haven't caught a fish, but nobody's really emptied the place. I think a couple of guys have had 2 or 3 fish, and no one's really had like a hit of fish. There tends to be a few coming out, then it dies. And I think a lot of that's down to the weather, the extra pressure, and the fact that the fish actually haven't spawned in here yet. And carrying all that extra weight is probably not best for them. I think they're just gagging for an opportunity to get on with it. But yeah, I tried my best, and there's still another maybe 20 minutes, so who knows. But yeah, it's looking like it's going to be another blank, and unfortunately I probably can't do a night or two for a long time, but that's the way it is. It's been enjoyable, caught some massive tetch, which is great. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.